So welcome everyone. I am doing the 2-month review of the 2019 Yamaha Xmax. So I did attempt to do audio while I was on the vehicle. I could not get the audio to work. Then I attempted to do a proper voiceover. That didn't work. So this is where we're at right now. So try to adjust the audio best you can, and hopefully in the future I will be able to do a better job. So I'm going on the Beltway, which is outside of DC, looking like Darth Vader somewhat. And this particular stretch of the highway is only about 55 miles per hour, so not that high. This machine can do that easy. It can cruise at 80 to 85 easy. It gets up to 90 easy, usually with a half a tank of gas, and it gets up to 90 super easy. I've done 95 top speed on this, and hopefully I will do a sort of a top speed test. The speedometer says 100 miles per hour. I am not doing 100 miles per hour. I did 95 before I chickened out, and so hopefully I can do that again. Problem with living outside a major urban area, you run out of space fast, so you have to pick a particular time of day, like a Sunday morning, and hopefully you can get a good stretch of highway where there are no police around, so you can do it. So, yeah, this is a great bike. I've been having a lot of fun on this, and I previously owned a Yamaha Xmax, and I still currently own the NC700, which is Honda. And this particular vehicle feels like a perfect midway between both those vehicles. So it does the speed of the NC700 with the lightweightness and maneuverability of the S-Max. Although the S-Max was very fast. I will say this, the NC700 is a 48 horsepower vehicle. This is a 28 horsepower vehicle. So I know the top speed of the NC700 is probably higher than this, but they still do the same speeds. It's just how fast it takes them to get to those speeds. The NC700 can get to those 85 faster, but who the hell cares, you know? It still gets to 85 super fast, and I start running out of space at 85 miles per hour living outside of Washington, D.C. So it's more than enough for this highway. One difference between the two vehicles, this has way more wind protection. The seat is way more comfortable. It's lower, however, ironically, I still can't flat-foot it because it's wide. So that's the price you pay for, you know, having storage. I get a lot of compliments on this vehicle, a lot of questions on it because it's unique looking. And, you know, I've been called the Batmobile twice. But this is just a short trip on the highway, and then I'm going to do a walk around of this particular vehicle. So you can probably hear the beeping noise. That beeping noise goes off anytime the key fob leaves a certain area within the bike. So it's a very small area. Even if you walk to the back of the bike, that key fob noise that beeping noise will go off. So it can be very annoying. However, I wouldn't change it because I could see myself walking away from this particular bike without fully turning it off. That's the key fob. That is the knob that you turn, and I'm going to turn it off, and that's going to stop the noise. Then I am going to turn the knob back on, turning it right. So from off, open, and to the on switch. And then it just turns on like a scooter would turn on. You hold the brake down and hit the start button. The dashboard lights up. There's a lot of information on that dash. This does look like a miniature T-Max. T-Max dash looks very, very similar, very angry looking. But we have a lot of information. We have the trip button and info button. They give you a lot of information here. We have the speedometer, the tachometer, the fuel gauge, the coolant temperature meter, fuel consumption, average fuel consumption, air temperature, battery voltage, icy road indicator, traction control. So, I mean, just a ton of information. And the trip button has multiple functions, so you might have to hold down 3 seconds to do one thing, 15 seconds to do another thing, hop on one leg, rub your stomach, pat your head, etc., etc., etc. So I still have not mastered all the controls on this particular bike in the 2 months and a couple of days that I've owned this bike. But it's cool. It takes time. We have on the left rearview mirror. Rearview mirrors are mysteries to me because for some odd reason they just get loose. Not just on this bike, but also same thing on my Xmax. They would just get loose. It is on the center stand right now. Scooters only start on the center stand, not on the side stand. Or, you know, or when you're propping up with your legs, of course. And yeah, I get a lot of compliments for this bike. I think I mentioned that in on the highway scene. And I met some other Xmax owners, and they all love their bikes. Here we have the floorboards down here. One thing again I like is the floorboards that you can, I think if you're 5'8" or shorter, you can kind of stretch your legs out there. It's not perfect, but it's still pretty good. If you get tired, it's a nice relaxing thing to put your feet up there. If you're taller than 5'8", no good. Here we have the right rear view mirror. I tried to buy this thing to hold my phone, and from Amazon, it cost like $8, and it broke off, so I just left it there. I didn't bother to take off the rear view mirror again. This turn signal, for some odd reason, also gets loose from time to time. And I just take my key and I push it back in there because it's all plastic. And here we have the passenger foot pegs. The total weight capacity for this bike per the manual is 355 pounds. So, which is surprising because that, if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty close to what the Xmax had. I would have assumed this had a much higher weight capacity. We have the Decepticon symbol. This bike looks like a Decepticon more so than an Autobot to me, or at least the symbol does. It looks closer to the symbol. The windshield. I accidentally hit the windshield with my arm, and the top part just kind of broke off. There are 2 plastic screws that you can't see, and they're covered up. The top of the heads just broke off of the windshield, of the screws. So the screws kind of got buried into the whatever thingamajiggy. And so yeah, that was kind of cheap. So I do see where they save money here and there in order to give you all these features within so the screws will be behind these little things right here. So I do see where they save a little bit of money to give you some features for $55.99 MSRP. And but I went to Home Depot, got some screws, and so far they're holding up. They're not perfect. I tried to go to the dealership to get some screws, and I am still waiting for the screws from the dealership. So that's that. Handrails. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye.